My name is David Brown. I am doing this video to talk about a movie called Creepers, among other titles, reportedly sometimes known as Troll 3, and why it is the worst movie I actually own. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put some context here. I have reviewed a large number of movies. Right now, it's closing on 250 on a blog I have called Trendy Troodon, and a good diagnostic of the worst movies I've actually reviewed is that I do not own them. There's some really horrible ones. Inseminoid, Space Mutiny. The Space Mutiny actually is pretty notorious. Then there's a recent one, technically a Marvel movie called Man Thing. Those were all awful in a pretty offensive ways. This, by comparison, wouldn't offend you quite the same way, but it's absolutely an all-time low for actually incompetent movie making. And the other thing here, I got this movie without looking for it or really knowing anything about it. I bought this set for this movie, Dungeonmaster. It's from Charles Band when he still had Empire Studios. This is an actual classic, or it should be recognized as such. These two, this one, Cellar Dweller, is pretty good, maybe as good as Dungeon Master, technically, just not quite the same in creativity, especially. This is Catacombs. It's technically the last movie Empire shot. That one's okay. This, the only thing that really ties it with any other movie is that it was made by a group called Film Mirage that included a guy named Joe D'Amato. They had made Troll 2, which was a completely unauthorized and really unrelated sequel to a Charles Band movie called Troll, which I might cover at a certain point. I'd have reviewed that, though that I don't own in physical form, only as a digital video. So with this movie, the main thing to know is that it was made about the same time as Troll 2, as I was saying, by some of the same people, and it's much, much worse. And why that's the case is a little hard to quantify. The main thing, Troll 2 mostly had actors who could hit the, you might say, high standard of mediocrity. Here, the lead actress is competent, even pretty good. One or two of the other characters are well cast, but almost everyone else is incredibly incompetent. They sound literally like high school students being told to read a play cold. And something that makes that quite a bit worse is that usually the kind of formula for monster movies is that when you need the scientific explanation, whether or not you really need that at all, you actually get a better actor than the rest of the cast to say it, so it at least sounds authoritative, no matter how much of a nonsense it is. Here, the people who do that are the worst actors, and you can really see why the other way around was the formula. And as far as the plot, if you can call it a plot, there's some kind of radioactive or chemical contaminant being released into the soil, and that's making trees and other plants become mobile, or sentient and start attacking people. So it's really kind of a rip-off of Evil Dead. And from what I've read, the guys who were making this actually made a couple other knockoff films that were marketed as related to Evil Dead, so that might have been how it came into it. You do also have the plant element in, if you go all the way back to Troll, that the band crew did. And the thing is, the effects are technically very bad, but not in a way that really detracts from the film. You can have effects that are awful but still effective, especially if what you're trying to do is a comedy or at least a satire. There might be traces of that here, especially in having a corporate villain. So they try to make it like it's a commentary about industrial pollution, but they do not develop it at all well, and then that makes the bad effects a lot more of a factor in how well this goes over. But again, the big problem is they got a bunch of people who absolutely cannot act. And another thing, when I did review this movie, I actually quit. And that wasn't even really because it was that much worse than other movies I viewed and reviewed. But there was so much incompetence, I finally just lost patience. Skip forward to the end. There is one bit right at the very end that's effective, even kind of funny. Completely cliched, but a cliche that's effectively used. And that is the common denominator throughout the whole movie. Nothing here is original, and none of it is done in a way that's clever or even intentionally or unintentionally amusing. And going back also to the whole angle with Troll, there's stories that it was released as Troll 3. I prefer the title Creepers, which I can find evidence for. Here it's Contamination Point 7. Another alternate title is Crawlers. As far as it being marketed as Troll 3, I would have to say I've become skeptical whether that even happened. I'd give it a benefit of the doubt, say most likely it happened somewhere, but it would have to have been a minor release, maybe something in Italy or continental Europe, because I have looked very hard and I cannot find a poster or video art that attests to this being called Troll 3. And it actually has a little more to do with Troll than Troll 2, but that is not saying anything at all. With Troll 2, the real story was that People Made was supposed to be an original movie, and someone decided to market it as a Troll sequel without permission from either side, not the people who made Troll 2 or the people who made Troll. And if you compare this to Troll 2, Troll 2 is an example of a movie that's amusing, whether or not it's really trying to be. And this is an example of a movie that completely fails at that, even when it's made by some of the same people. And that would be what I have to say about this one, so I'm going to sign out for the moment. Yes. So if you can, watch a good movie. Maybe watch Dungeonmaster. It's definitely not worth it to watch Troll 3 or whatever you call it. So again, I'll sign out. To everyone, be best.